Hello and welcome to Attackers of Opportunity. This is your DM, Michael. I'm sitting around a virtual table with some of my friends, and we're about to play some D&D.
Yeah!
Could everybody roll me a perception check, please?
Yeah. 21.
That's a 7 again, so keeping it correct.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
Natural 9.
Yeah.
Dickies. Oh, natural.
19 for
And
Valak.
that would be a 9.
After me.
I rolled persuasion, not perception. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that was you.
Still good.
18.
18.
There we go.
All right, so Valak, Dorian, and Moonbeam, you all now hear that there is clattering and additional voices coming from the main floor.
Moonbeam instantly has little fires in her hands.
Valak, get us out of here.
But to where?
Mountains.
The mountains.
Away from people.
All right, to our mountain campsite.
What about our Atlantean guy?
He's with us still, isn't he?
He's being held like a duffel bag by Valak.
And we're bringing him with us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
How long does non-detection work?
8 hours.
Right.
I'm sorry, but what about these souls?
We'll be
trapped
back.
within-
We'll explain later.
They're gonna be all
There's an
right?
army upstairs coming for us right now.
We should go.
They're going to take them, no? I guess.
Well, it teleports.
Yeah,
What?
there we go.
And I believe you can take up to 10 creatures, so carrying Duffel Bag Man is absolutely an option along with Barrios.
Mhm.
All right, I need to know where you're teleporting to see if there are issues. Like, if you just
Literally
say
kept
into the
with-
mountains somewhere.
When we did the Wyverns, we had to stop and make camp in the mountains, and that's to that campsite is where we're going.
The mountains in the country of Camelli.
Yes, in the country of Camelli. In the country
Okay.
of Smelly.
All right, then. Let's look up the teleportation mechanic again just to be on the safe side so that we're doing this right. Where is it? Lots of hold persons. Dickie does like casting hold persons.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's a good one. It's saved us a lot of times.
It has.
I rolled the 64, so we are fine.
Okay, yeah, 64, that should be well over any of the potential hazards there. Oh, but does it get you exactly where? That's teleportation. Circle, teleport. Okay. So yeah, 64 is enough to put you on target. If you'd only like landed and then left, you actually would have been off target with the 64, but because you camped there for a night, I'm going to say that you have seen it casually, which is enough to make sure you're on target. Because you're not intimately aware of it. You haven't spent days and days and days there. You just spent one night.
Mhm.
Anywho, so yes, you guys pop out and appear on your campsite by the Wyvern Graveyard. And this campsite was, I think, just outside the rim of it all in Camelli. The area seems to be fairly much the same of what you'd seen the last time you were here, although you are greeted with a bitterly cold wind blowing across the terrain as you arrive. And it's not just one gust. It is like they are getting towards their winter kind of thing.
Mm.
All right. We're going to need to build a circle, and this wind is not going to help.
Could we do this within one of Dickie's little houses?
Oh, yeah.
The tiny hut.
Mm-hmm. Is it big enough?
I was literally thinking of that. Yes.
Let me look. I'm looking at the ritual.
And then real quick, is casting sleep or the non-detection, is any of that concentration?
But non-detection, no.
Yeah. Sleep is not concentration either, although you haven't cast sleep on him, you just choked him out.
Yeah. Yeah, Valak, just a little sleeper hold.
We want to do the ritual in the hut or put him in the hut?
I think we want to do the ritual in the hut.
Yeah.
That's smart because then the ritual circle will be able to stay there instead of being blown away.
And no one could see it because it's
Mhm.
magic through.
Here's the thing on that, Dorian. You were saying, could we do the spell inside the hut? The hut is a 10-foot radius. You think that the circle that you're going to need is going to be larger than that.
No, we can't use the hut.
Can I do a perception to see if I see any like valleys or little nooks or crannies that we could tuck into? That might be
Absolutely.
good. That is another 21 for perception.
Okay. You look around, and of course, there is the valley that leads into the Wyvern Graveyard and the Red Magic Light Lake in the center of that.
Mhm.
I'll say, as you are looking around, though, you see down a bit from where you are now and then up part of another plateau, there does seem to be a large, fairly flat area that looks to be right in front of a mouth of a cave. It would be probably a 3-hour walk to get there because you'd have to go down a little bit and then climb back up. But that would give you both a flat area and a shelter spot from the weather should it get any worse.
Perfect. Love it. I pointed out. How about there? I think it's big enough. Is it?
That should work.
But can we make it there without freezing our butts off?
One second, let me check.
It's like
Scenarios?
45 degrees, not.
Okay.
32.
I can also continuously cast Produce Flame to keep us warm. It's cantrip.
Stay close to me, Maeve. Okay.
Huddle
You get one
together.
warm.
Barrow says, well, I may need help on the upside, but walking downhill's always been an easy thing.
All right.
All right. Sounds like we're heading there.
Okay.
Yep, we go. We make our way.
I would like everyone to give me either nature or survival. Yeah, nature or survival, I think would be the two most appropriate roles.
Nature it is.
Definitely doing survival.
It's a 14 nature.
9.
That's a 12.
18.
Damn. All right.
So Coleman, little Dicky realizes all you are able to get through, you don't develop frostbite, anything like that. About 2 hours in, you suddenly feel like, wait, something is wrong with this picture. This is not natural rock formations. Something has happened here, and this it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Does it seem recent that this thing that was done here has happened?
No, it's more like the whole topography is wrong. You would expect the stone to be at a different angle. Like there's this idea that I read in a book one time of different soils. If you pile them up, the angle of the pyramid that they form changes depending on the type of material. It'll go wider, it'll go more narrow, and some of it's like moisture in the stone and all that. You're looking at like the angle on that mountain should be much more sheer. The river kind of creek that we can see over there, it's running in the wrong path. It should be 10 miles over running through a lower part of the terrain. Something has shaped this or controlled this or done something to this terrain.
But it doesn't look like it was done recently, whatever had done this.
Correct.
Well, this looks to be as good a spot as any.
Okay.
Are you at least
Oh.
telling us what the issue is?
Okay.
Yes, because let me show you. Something about this area is, it seems as if it's been humanoid made, as if it's been pushed aside, shaped in a certain way. Cultivated, sure. Altered, but it gives me a sense of foreboding, like maybe it was done for a ritual, which is perfect.
Which
that's
is
why we're
not
here.
perfect. That's kind of the opposite of perfect.
Wait.
because That's
We're
literally
going
why
to do a
we.
ritual.
What
But-
kind of ritual do you think? Wait,
Oh man, should I cast Arcana?
You could roll an Arcana, sure.
I would like to help him with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Okay.
mind helping.
Here, I'd say look over here and look at that and look around here. I got a 22 Arcana. Haha.
Yes.
Did you roll that with an advantage by chance?
Me?
Yes. Because if he's
Without-
helping you, you get advantage.
Oh, no, that was the advantage.
Okay. A 22 Arcana is pretty solid. It's more like something magical was done to this place rather than this place was formed to do a magic thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Sorry.
you guys are about to do a magical thing in this place.
Thus, it's a
Magically
perfect place.
Listen, really quickly, we have somebody with a stone who could figure out what the hell is going on here in case this is a bad place for us to do a ritual.
It's more like something bad was done to it, not that something bad happened.
Was it
from
true?
it.
But I still think it would probably be a good thing to maybe.
Alec.
But Valak, do you have the necessary components to reassign the Stone of Intellectus?
But this would be my last time. We'd have to go back to a city and purchase everything again. And it's very expensive. So are you sure this is what you want to do? Because this is very kind of useless spot other than, this one guy's information.
It's end game, so to speak. So we
We can go to the cave and see if there's anything in there.
Oh, a cave-in would be bad, though. Remember, it's a big explosion.
Yes. Let's check the cave to see if it's a place that we can take refuge.
With this ritual,
This is beautiful outside, good day. Wonderful.
as soon as the ritual happens, it will explode, correct?
Probably. So yes, we shouldn't do the ritual inside of a cave, but
No.
get away from the
We can
elements
see.
for a moment.
Exactly.
How quickly can we be teleported away if we
That
use that?
depends on Valak.
Pretty fast, like everybody touch Valak and then we go.
Is it possible to do the ritual and teleport away?
In theory, but wouldn't my fear in doing that is what if it's not complete? Then we
What
wouldn't
if it
know.
didn't work?
If it didn't work, and then we wouldn't necessarily be able to come back until tomorrow to double
How
check.
long will ritual take?
It will take this long.
It'll take about 2 hours to set up and 45 minutes to an hour to perform.
All right. How big explosion?
Unknown.
We're not sure.
Will Dickie's little hut protect us from the explosion?
I'm looking into it now.
Yeah, there you go.
Run!
Yeah.
So, by the way, teleport takes an action, so that's 6 seconds.
Ah.
The tiny hut.
Well, it takes a minute
magic,
to
right?
have it with an open door.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we walk over there and leave Dorian here do ritual? And then
We just leave him by himself.
I will stay. We'll come back to Dorian before ritual done. And then when he finishes ritual, I will teleport him to the rest of you.
Do you only need one person to do it?
I could do the actual ritual myself. Now, for 2 hours of setup, I would appreciate some help.
Of course.
What if Big Rock?
What?
So what if Big Rock? Like, we find Big Rock, and Dorian does ritual, and then jumps behind the rock.
I could try.
I have a hut. You can walk right through it.
It'll protect.
Yes, it will. No objects besides you can go through it. So that helps with shrapnel.
Mm-hmm.
And no magical effects can go through it. So if it's some kind of magical wave of energy, then that should be safe.
Perfect. I can help you, Dorian.
What
with the
if
casting.
he does the ritual inside Tiny Hut?
No, we still
And
have
then
that.
out of it.
Not
we
long
Just
just-
went through that 2 seconds ago.
The tiny
Okay,
hut is
Alec, we
far too
know
small.
you were worshipping, you were distracted. It happens.
The tiny
Yeah,
hut's a little too tiny.
Yeah, he needs more than that to create all the ritual circle with all the pieces. But to Alec's point, if you cast the tiny hut right next to the circle and you have the open door and Dorian is casting from the open door, completes it, slam the door.
Oh, that was
Actually,
bad.
there's no door. He literally just goes whoop whoop. He just
Mhm.
steps back into it.
Oh,
I mean, hell, you could even tie a rope around him and someone could pull him inside.
just
Yeah.
in case.
Mhm.
Or the blast could throw him in.
Instead of the action hero walking away from the explosion, he does the like full throw back
He puts
into
up
the
a
hut.
tower shield.
Yeah.
And if he mistimes it, the explosion will throw him into Tiny Hut.
That's it. That's it.
Yes, a rope. Sure, let's do that.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys get up to the kind of rock ledge that you were all looking at, and Barrios has been wheezing at this, and you look at him all again at this point, and the wrinkles have deepened heavily in his face. His hair is all ghost white, and he is breathing hard as though just the short trek in the mountains has tired him out. He goes, well, I don't think I'm going to be of much help setting up your ritual there, Master Dorian.
That's
but,
okay. You just relax.
I'm gonna go sit at the edge of that cave over there. I'm gonna drink a glass of. Sure, I got a flask in here somewhere. Call me if you need me. And he will
Right.
step over to the edge of the cave and sit hard down on the ground as he is just bone weary.
Oh, I can cast Tiny Hut now so he can be comfy.
Doesn't it take 10 minutes to cast or something?
1 minute.
No, just 1 minute.
If you do it as a ritual,
That's true. Yeah.
it takes me 10 minutes. He can do it in a minute.
I have the spell.
Yeah, I have the ritual.
Okay. So you could prep that in a minute and set up the hut, and Barrios will sit in that and lean up kind of against the wall of it.
He's
He
like,
would-
don't touch.
He would kind of fall through it, but I would lean him up against the rock.
Okay.
It's quite nice, dry, and warm inside.
And for you, smells a bit of the summer sea.
Mm.
I will place hand upon his shoulder and just like trickle lay on hand to that hand, and like give him a steady stream of revitalizing energy so that he can see this occur.
I like it. Roll me a religion check.
That is an 11.
Wow.
Okay. You feel like you were just trying to trickle in energy for it. I will say you do feel that his faith, the reservoir that a cleric would tap into to cast the energy granted them by their god, that is still strong within him. He's not lost his ability to cast. It's the flesh has grown weak here, not so much the spirit or the mind.
Yes, I was tracking that. I'm just healing energy.
I stay with him as well, and I ask him for tales to write down into my journals.
Ooh.
For example, the tale of how he came into possession of this item. I'm sure.
I heard there was a really hot centaur in there. Continue on that.
he says she wasn't so hot, but
She smelled really bad, but like she was cool.
it's like she thought she was, and that really made up for a lot.
Mm,
That
confidence will get you far.
speaks.
Well, yes, he will gladly tell you the tale of how he regained his youth. And you, all the listener, can listen to the side quest Home for Venerable Heroes and hear that story yourself.
Oh yeah.
He'll also talk a little bit about the quote unquote good old days where he was traveling around with Josso and Zarin and Deborah and all of the original group of heroes.
Mhm.
He'll tell you the tale of Deborah, who was the dragonborn warrior that traveled with them, and he seems to speak of great respect for her. And he'll share that when the heroes kind of split up after defeating the Necromancer Lord back in the day, that Josso went south to what would become the town of Josso. He went back to his people for a time. Deborah said that she was headed north. And so he'll kind of tell some of those tales. And while he's telling those tales and take up time, Dorian, you are working on putting this ritual together. Is anyone, who all is assisting you in doing that?
Moonbeam definitely is.
Okay, great. I would like each of you to give me either an Arcana check or sleight of hand check to prepare the energies and or place the items, carve out sigils precisely, etc. So one of those two, I need it from the three of you.
Do 18 sleight of hand.
It's good.
Yeah, I got a 17 Arcana.
Great.
There's an extra step. 10 Arcana.
Okay, Moonbeam, as you're working with Maeve, you like look over at some of the stuff that Dorian's doing, and you're like, what is he doing over there? It's not right. That can't possibly be right.
Just for the audience, I actually rolled a 2.
Oh, God.
My Arcana is an 8, but I rolled a 2.
Yeah.
Want.
It's only for the people that are outside the hut.
Well,
The people helping with the
the
ritual.
people inside the hut can see them, but if you guys are talking and listening to
Yeah.
Darius,
Mhm.
that's where you guys are doing. All right, so
Like nerves is getting to Dorian.
What's that?
It looks like nerves are getting to Dorian. He is experiencing the nerves.
Oh no, I've got a case of the yips.
Moonbeam goes over and like pokes him in the cheek to kind of like push him over and like tries to fix whatever he was doing.
okay, so for the second hour, if each of the three of you would give me another roll.
I rolled exactly the same 17.
Okay.
11.
27.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we
Wait a
go.
minute.
That was blew us all up.
Yeah.
Dorian redeeming himself in this second hour
Oh, I see what you did there.
realizes some of the mistakes of the sigils that he was carving out, goes back over them and starts working on them.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. There we go.
upside down.
Maeve has a bit of difficulty in this and spends a lot of time kind of clearing some rocks and rubble away to make the terrain smoother. So it doesn't so much help complete the ritual circle, but spends her time scouring the terrain a little bit. Moonbeam.
For the audience, I also rolled a 2.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Moonbeam, you with another 17 are again super helpful in putting this all together. And like once Maeve clears an area, you come in and you start continuing the circle and the ritual sigils that the Dorian's plans show should be drawn. And you know enough about the fundamentals of magic to understand to properly shape these all. So yeah, with 4 successes and 2 failures on that roll, you guys are able to prep the ritual circle successfully.
I have a little flavor thing that I want to add if I can.
Go right ahead.
I think as Moonbeam's helping out with all the different ritualistic stuff, she starts to glow a little bit. Like her little pixie has a little bit more of like a fiery glow to it, the pixie dust. The more she...
Nice.
A little before you guys are finally done with the circle, inside the hut, you start hearing a
Oh.
this is the 2 of you that are in the hut. That are
We hear what?
You hear a
Trying to talk. Should I
Oh.
knock him out again?
Yes.
At this point, you guys are about 5.5 hours into your 8 hours of non-detect.
hmm
Okay.
Just double checking.
Bellic will walk over to him and like cock a fist back and then like pull his gag down a little bit, ready to punch him in the mouth if he tries to cast spell.
Well, the good thing is he's in the hut with us, so he's undetectable.
For the 8 hours. of hut rest.
Undetectable.
Exactly.
Well, it seems that you all are not going to deal with me after all. That is rather unfortunate.
Wait,
Did you take his gag off?
Mhm.
Yeah, pull down
Bellic
his-
said took his gag off.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I thought
said
you said
pull down his gag and cock back to punch him in the mouth if he tries to cast a spell.
Why would you just punch him in the mouth anyway?
Just put him
I
in
say
the
Like
sleep.
something to say.
Hold on. If that's your opening argument, and Valak punches him in the mouth, knocks him back out, and then puts the gag back around his mouth.
Okay.
I was just like, I feel like he's probably got something to say.
That's what I thought too, but then he opened with that. It's like,
Yes, he's like a broken thing.
like that is, okay,
Well,
that's
now.
obvious. Thank you very much for telling us what we know. Oh. He's not very intellectus.
Every time you take it off, he's like, "So are we going to do a deal? Last
Was that a
chance."
no, or I'm just getting mixed feelings.
All right,
here.
we'll call it a draw.
Your lives are in my hands. That are tied behind my back.
in fuzzy manacles for some reason.
No, he was going to give his final and best offer, but well.
He can give it to us the next time.
All right. So at this point, the ritual is ready to be cast. For the actual casting of the ritual, it seems like most of you are going to be in the tiny hut to help protect yourselves. Dorian is going to be the one actually casting it. You had worked through the magical theorem multiple times and had worked out a system that would give you a bonus to the roll.
Indeed.
I believe it was giving you a +1.
It is a +1, yes.
So if everyone is good for the ritual to happen, I think that's where we're at.
Who's Valak is yanking him in, I assume?
Yes.
You
Maybe
don't even need a
wants
rope.
to-
You can just put your hand on him and just.
Yeah, well,
That's true.
Well, I don't want to, like, knowing my luck, I'll lose that hand. So
Dorian will be killed, and I'll lose my hand.
Dorian, do you want help? Can I help?
I don't know, can she?
4 hands are better than 2.
Sure.
I was just wondering if I can give him any kind of bonuses, honestly. Or like have a helping hand and we both do our Arcana or something.
Yeah, okay. I'll modify the DC if you're out there helping him. But how often do you cast rituals, though? Because you shape change a lot.
I do shape change a lot.
And you cast produce flame, but that's a cantrip.
That's a cantrip. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I have any rituals.
What spells do you have?
I have like 30 something spells. It'll take a while to go through. I can cast about 23 different ones a day, so like it'll take a sec.
Wow.
I know, she's fucking
Oh.
awesome.
I can cast 2.
Yay, warlocks. Yeah, most of them are actions and like a lot of concentrations, but I don't think many of them are rituals aside from my shape-shifting,
Okay.
which also, I mean, it's not a ritual, but
I mean, you can help, but it would be a small amount of help.
Okay.
That's not a dig at your size.
sure.
Okay, so you start working, and Dorian, in that, like, taking a couple of calming breaths right before you start the ritual, that's a fairly complex ritual compared to what you cast before, especially given that a few months ago you didn't cast any magic. All of this has come out of your connection with the Lady Vernestra. And as you release that, like, second breath out, you hear a silvery little jingle to your left, but Moonbeam is on your right.
I smile, lady.
I thought that you would be here one day. In the heart of the beast itself. You are an adventurous one.
That is what they tell me.
So you are committed to this. That is well and truly good. With this, you will deal a blow to the Necromancer Lord's designs on being a Dark Lord. And you've already earned his wrath, so it's not going to hurt you anymore there.
This is true, and he has in turn earned mine.
As I suspected he would when this all started out. You are progressing the game magnificently.
It is a game,
There are pieces on the board that are moving about. What else would you call it?
a conflict, a struggle, a fight.
Most games are.
I do not intend to lose this one.
And those that have bet upon your friends there, they also do not wish to lose. So I think for the moment you are in the clear, but I would not tarry long in this land once you are done with this.
I do not intend to. Do you see a clear next move for the game board? Or should I choose on my own?
Well, I see a forked path ahead of you.
Indeed.
One is you yourself could use the power there. None of your allies know this ritual well enough. You could turn yourself into that very god that we spoke of once before. But I know that you wish to deal more of a blow against the Necromancer Lord than we wish to elevate yourself at this time. I see true to your heart.
You can call it petty if you wish, but he wronged me in many different ways, and...
But that's the wonderful thing about being a god. You can be just as petty as you'd like.
But I would not, if that were to eventually come about.
Of course, if hypothetically in the future, somewhere down the road.
You seem to think this is a foregone conclusion.
Let's just say that I know what happens to the champions of Dark Lords in the past, and I see those who travel with you now. If you cling truly to your ideals and forge ahead and do not suffer the ignominy of death and defeat, you will become perhaps my most powerful lieutenant ever.
Truly.
Indeed.
And then how would we proceed?
Well, provided you and I were not in conflict, I believe we would proceed along our merry way.
Mary sounds wonderful.
I'll keep you to your word. And with that, she disappears.
Did Moonbeam only hear his side of this whole thing?
You only heard your side of it, or his side of it.
Amazing. She's so
Really?
confused the whole time. Just like, okay, I guess this is just his like mental prep.
Oh, sorry, Moonbeam.
Are you talking to yourself over there?
No,
I do it all the time. It's not. No judgment.
I was not talking to myself.
Okay.
I assure you.
That's all right.
I'm surprised you didn't notice. Interesting.
I'm
So
intrigued.
She hid herself from you.
Who's she?
You know who she is. We've discussed this before. Lady Varanestra.
Moonbeam's face completely drops, and she innately shrinks to half her size.
Oh,
What's wrong? You knew this.
but she was here?
Oh, yes, just there.
Did she see me?
I only assumed that she must have.
Oh.
She was locked in conversation with me, though.
Okay.
Are you well?
That's, we could just destroy it. Are we done? Can we do it? Can we make an explosion?
We can.
But Moonbeam is helping you out on this, so I'll reduce the DC of the ritual. You get a +1 from it all as well. It's going to be an Arcana check, and the DC to pull off the ritual is a 25. And that's to pull it off with no explosion.
I'm definitely peering underneath Valak just to make sure I don't have to like run out and grab people out.
Ooh. Okay, so got the rope tied around me, right?
And
Valak
Moonbeam's
had
like
mentioned-
tucked on your shoulder, but like helping.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Trying to think if there's anything else I can do to give myself any advantage here. No, okay. Okay, so it's Arcana?
Arcana.
You got this. You got this, Dorian.
We shall see.
I love that 25 is the reduced DC. Like, damn.
Yeah, I've got to roll really well. Fuck.
Oh, no.
The 12.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Okay.
That's a 13, actually.
You complete the ritual, and as all of the sigils have been lighting up around the rings, your gestures have been infusing. The energy has been building and swirling around this area as you've worked these last 45 minutes to build this all up. The energy swirls around you once more, and it seems to press in every time it does a revolution, pressing in more and more, building the pressure against the artifact of this cloak that has been placed in the center of it all, draped over the gem that you all procured. The energy pulses tighter. You can almost feel like the air pressure has built up and you need to pop your ears, and it presses in. And in that final moment, as you say the final phrase, there is just this explosion that rips out purple energy, flying out in every direction, blasting out from this, spreading out into a radius, hitting the two of you. Roll me dexterity saving throws, DC 18, please.
Okay, wait a minute. We are right outside the tiny hut, right?
Right. And this is the attempt to, how quickly do you jump in the hut before it hits you?
I understand that. Valak is right there holding
Yeah.
the rope.
We were there.
Yeah,
though.
you're in my aura.
We're in his aura. Okay.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to know.
There
That
we
gives
go.
us advantage.
Also, does Valak have to
We,
roll?
we get a +5 to all our saves?
I thought it was 3.
What is it?
Photos 3.
Gold 3? Okay,
All right.
so it's a 3.
Yeah.
That gives me a mod 20 then.
There we go.
Hey.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Oh, no. Roll 20 hates you.
Roll 20 is a bastard.
What about
We have
Valak's
a cool
pull?
shooting gun. What are you?
That's a 10.
Yeah.
But Valak's supposed to pull me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll give you a reroll on that as Valak yanks you.
I'm going to
I mean,
shoot it with my crossbow because I
Yes.
don't trust roll 20.
From my perspective, with your reroll, just for flavor, of just like maybe Valak starts zoning out, and that's Maeve like grabs the rope and says, "Come on!"
Yes.
All right, here we go.
He was just praying too hard.
Yeah.
That is a 13 plus 3, 16.
16. Okay. So you don't quite get all of it. So you feel this flash of negative energy just come flying at you. Moonbeam, you're able to get in the tiny hut and protect yourself from the majority of it. Dorian, you're going to get hit with this as they're pulling you in. You're going to get absolutely singed on this. Let me roll some dice here. You're going to take 15 points of necrotic damage as this
No, he doesn't.
washes over you.
No, he
As you're-
doesn't.
You're gonna absorb some of it.
he's outside the hut. Energy can't pass in and out of the hut.
So he's still in my aura.
Actually, with a tiny hut, since energy can't pass through, and the aura would allow that bonuses, you probably don't get those bonuses.
Magical effects, but not divine effects.
Oh, interesting.
How thin are these hairs that we are splitting here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let me read Tiny Hut. Hold on.
Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome. Is it a spell?
It's divine energy.
Yeah.
No, it's not a spell or a magical effect. It's an ability.
They're not listed as cleric spells. Oh, what is it? What is the
No,
ability?
It's the divine energy.
It's not even
Correct.
divine energy. It's an ability. It's my.
It's an aura.
That's a good point.
Is this aura of warding?
It's a aura of protection and aura of the guardian.
Aura of protection's words say nothing about it being energy or
It's because
focus.
it's not. It's just my ability.
Yeah,
it's not a.
You're standing so close to him that you know he's cool and his coolness is just radiating off of you. It's not, yeah, as I'm reading it, it's not magical or spell in nature. So
Yeah,
okay.
it's just imbued.
He's within the aura. So yeah, if you want to suck away that 15 points of necrotic,
Okay. Is that how that works? It just goes away?
he transfers the hit onto himself, kind of.
Oh, no.
You're
Um,
muted, Gold.
So it doesn't go away. But
Yeah.
also, he has his own abilities to.
To then reduce damage. Yeah.
No, you're fine. You don't feel it. You don't know what happens to it. It's just gone.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't notice.
Yeah. So then those of you inside the hut then see little purple crackles of energy go over Valak in that moment of flash as he is yanking on the rope to pull Dorian in. The tiny hut gets buffered. No, what's the buffeted?
Buffeted.
Tiny hut gets buffeted
Warren
as
buffeted.
energy dissolves part of the rock face that it was all based on. It flings it end over end away from where it had been towards the mouth of the cave. I need everyone inside the hut to give me a dexterity saving throw. You'll all get Valak's aura, but this is as the hut essentially flips over and starts rolling. You're trying to brace yourself or get slammed against one of the faux energy walls.
Dexterity saving +3.
Yes.
Does it matter that the hut is immobile?
Well,
a dome of
the
force?
ground itself is being thrown around. The ground.
Fascinating.
It's
like
like-
a blob. right?
I picture Tiny Hut like the TARDIS. Like nothing can happen like to it necessarily, and you're safe within it. But the world around it can go away, and then it's just
There.
So that's a 17 for Dorian.
I got a 17 too.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry, a 20. I didn't add the 3.
That's a 13 for Valak.
Okay.
14 for Maeve.
Valak takes a knee.
18.
Valak, you get the +3 as well. No?
I do not. Nope.
That's just for everybody else.
Oh, in that case, 21.
Okay, so if you're less than 15, you take 9 points of damage. If you're over 15, you're going to take half of that at 5.
Got it.
Barrios gets beaten up by this flash around, and your bound and gagged guy takes the full brunt as well.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, he can't make a dexterity save. He's tied
I'm
up.
still unconscious.
He is now, if not before.
As a note, you're a little over 6 hours into the non-detect.
That's fine. We're still inside the dome.
Absolutely. I'm just making sure that we're tracking those numbers.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. I do get it. I do get my own.
I thought so.
I get my
Then
own
you got
protection.
16.
I
I'm
thought
so
you did.
charismatic. I protect myself.
Man,
Tell you,
I'm cool.
confidence speaks volumes.
All right.
I vote once we've taken the full brunt of all this, the next thing to do is wake up our guy and get as much information out of him as possible.
Then should we just leave him here after?
I think so.
Yeah, but we're not leading with that.
Got it.
No, no,
Right,
no.
never. No.
No, we want information. He's just going to hole up if we threaten.
Mhm.
Oh, I just thought of something. Never mind. It's too late now.
So
the walls, you can go through them. But yes.
So the hut kind of lands towards the entrance to the cave, and you all look out once the dust has kind of begun to clear, and all of that front flat area that led up has just been gouged away, and there is now a huge crater. And it's even beyond the edge of the crater where the rock was moved. You see scorch and burn marks a little outside of that. Fortunately, there's so little scrub and grass around here that it doesn't feel like there's a solid risk of forest fire or anything like that. But this was fairly massive devastation. And if you hadn't protected yourselves nearly as well, a whole lot more damage would have been taken and potentially, ripped you all apart from your constituent atoms. But fortunately, you all have survived the destruction of the spell cloak of the ancient necromancer lord.
We did
you
it.
have survived it with very few bumps and bruises, honestly. Except Barrios definitely is beaten up, and your unconscious guy is even more unconscious now.
Sweet.
Unconscious and bleeding.
The air outside the hut begins to clear a little bit as you wait a little while for the dust to literally settle. What all would you like to do?
Well, it's not dusty insides. That's good. I want to check on Barrios and see if he needs attention. I could cure wounds him.
Okay. Barrios is at the point where his skin has gone kind of frail and parchment thin, where it seems like almost any nick or scratch is going to result in a tear. And with everything that's gone on, he is like lying on his back, and he's tried to sit up a couple of times, and you can just tell that he is in pain and moaning. He's got rivets of blood beginning to just trickle a little bit from his left arm, and he is breathing hard, just sitting there in the edge of the hut.
As Dickie gets up to go check on him, I'm just going to put my hand on his arm. Just, Dickie,
Yes?
he might be who you need to cast sleep on.
I can cure him and heal his wounds.
You can't. Not anymore. Just
I haven't dealt with someone this old before.
We need to find out what we can do for him, where we need to take him last.
I
should
think
take him home.
the kindest thing to do would be to take him home and just let him rest.
Yes, we will use this last teleport of the day to take him home so that his family can say their goodbyes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Ellie, out of game, real quick. Yes, for the kindness of this person, absolutely. But we need to interrogate this guy, and we need to abandon him somewhere far away from anywhere. This is the right place to abandon him. He's still knocked out. We shouldn't teleport away from here until we can wake him up and abandon him here.
Unless Dickie can cast non-detection again.
But still at that, like, that's only 8 hours. And then what do we do when we're done with him? We just push him out and he's in the middle of...
No, we teleport again.
We can't. We can only do it 3 times. And that's our 3rd time.
A day, but then tomorrow we'll do it again.
Yeah, just keep him non-detected until dawn, and then we...
Right, but the non-detection only lasts 8 hours.
Yes. So we sleep and then wake up.
And you can even sleep in the hut.
Tiny hut.
Yeah.
In the Dwarven Kingdom.
Okay.
I can also non-detect him.
It is absolutely a valid concern, Ellie. 100%.
They can't scry us in the tiny hut.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. That's why you would sleep in the hut.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay. That was my concern.
Okay. So are you teleporting now, or are you going to try to interrogate the guy before you teleport?
You said he was still asleep, so
He got re-knocked out by...
Yeah.
In the
He
explosion.
possibly has brain damage.
I think we should
But I could
probably...
give him like 1 point of healing with lay on hands, and poof, he'd be awake.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
But if Barrios... Okay, so this is where I was at, of just like, if Barrios is dying in this very moment, yes, we teleport him home and
That's what-
make him comfortable.
Right.
But if he's got a couple minutes, then we wake up dude over there and we interrogate him and then abandon him here. That was literally the...
Also, there might be someone there where we teleport who has, what's the word? Whatever, could compel him to answer
Zone of
our
truth.
questions. Zone of truth, but then he still has to talk, so you'd have to entrance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could charm him.
Charm, for example. Yes.
Shaman.
I mean, that only
Only
works
you
for
had
about a
something.
minute, and then once it's gone, he like doubles down in his hatred.
Yeah.
So I would use that as a last resort because then we only have
That's
a minute.
Yeah, that is true.
I think I can charm him with my pixie dust too, actually.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I think so.
Then I'll do cure wounds on Barrios to give him some more time.
His skin heals a bit with the cure wounds, but his breathing does not improve much.
Fine.
If-
I give him mouth to mouth.
No, that's the last thing he wants. If we can keep our guy over here stuck in the tiny hut, then yes, I think we should take Barrios home.
We're taking him with us, though.
Well, of course.
Oh, you said something about leaving him in the tiny hut. Sorry. I got you.
You can recast it, can't you?
Well, Dorian can.
Yes, I can cast tiny hut as many times as I need to. I just need 10 minutes.
All right.
Yes,
So
I will
the
cast.
sooner we do that, the teleportation, the better, because then we're still under the purview of non-detect, and
Yes,
you've got
I can
10
cast it
minutes.
again when we get there.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so dropping the tiny hut right before the teleport goes off.
I mean, we can just walk outside. and do
Okay,
it.
yeah, you can do that way too.
Yeah.
You walk outside and the wind is howling around all of you. Everybody give me perception checks one more time.
Oh boy.
I have been rolling. Oh no, that's way better than I.
Oh wait, I get advantage. That's right.
Oh,
17.
we still have Valak's stuff.
Those for saving throws. This is just a perception.
24.
I have rolled a 4.
Hey,
I rolled a 7.
17 it was then.
Well, 24.
Oh, 24. Great.
Yeah.
14. Maeve and Moonbeam. As the wind is howling around you, you almost hear a voice calling out in the wind. saying, "You're still here. You're still here. You're still here. You're still here." And teleport takes you away.
Nice.
So you've been to the city once before. Give me a teleportation check, please. Again, Mr. Volok.
Did that voice sound familiar at all?
Yeah, did we recognize that voice?
Well, you didn't hear it, Coleman.
Oh, sorry.
Just,
That's right.
Actually, Maeve,
Yeah.
roll just a straight intelligence, I think. That's recollection.
Yeah.
And our teleportation is
Great
perfect.
intelligence makes that a dirty 20.
Yes. Nice.
The voice almost seems to be speaking in 3 or 4 voices, and one of the voices almost sounds like dirt. The teleportation was perfect at a 90 on the D100.
Wow.
And you all pop out right outside the doors to the Silver Thrust estate in the Dwarven Kingdom of Knos.
Hell yeah.
So you did not recognize it, correct? It sounded like dirt?
It sounded like
dirt!
dirt.
Oh, I was like, because I thought there was still lots of dirt in the air, and I'm like,
Oh, no.
No,
Hope.
our dirt.
Mhm.
It sounded like hope.
so wait, we teleported, dirt was like, guys! And we teleported away?
No.
Well, it wasn't that nice.
Also, no, it wasn't.
It was a little threatening, right?
yeah, a little creepy.
Also, not corporeal,
Mm-hmm.
from my understanding of.
There's a
Well,
voice on the wind.
We do remember the winds attacking us there before.
Oh yeah.
Does someone want to knock on the door? I'll hold up Barrios. Like,
Oh, all right. Dum, dum, dum.
A moment or two later, a servant appears and opens the door and goes, "Oh, yes, how can I help?"
we've brought Barrios home.
Come in. And she'll gesture you to the foyer and say, "Oh, pardon me." And the servant will go off about 2 minutes later with Barrios having sat on one of the side chairs there, still breathing hard and not moving much on his own. The older male dwarf that you all met previously that was having dinner with the young Barrios back at the Granite Slab restaurant. For loyal listeners, check out episode, I think about 117 was when we did that. And he comes and goes, "All right, so you all, Oma." And he goes over to Barrios and like drops to one knee so that he's level with Barrios's head sitting in the chair. And he goes, "Is this, what do you want to tell me what happened?" And he's looking around at you all.
That's a long
Dead
story.
silence.
The artifact that had given him unnatural long life was one of the Necromancer Lord's artifacts.
Yeah, I knew all that.
It's been destroyed now.
But he gave it to us.
Of his own will, he knew what would happen, but now that evil bastard will never lay his hands on that power again.
Barrios kind of moves his hand just a little bit to touch the hand that of the older dwarf that's holding him. He goes, it's all right, my son. I knew what they were doing. And the dwarf quickly stands up and calls for a couple of attendants, and they physically pick up the chair that Barrios is in and they bring it in to one of the bed chambers, and they gesture for all of you to accompany, and they move Barrios from the chair, like picking him up and putting him in the bed, and they call for kind of the house cleric on retainer to come and see them as quickly as possible. Barrios occasionally gets a word in, and just before the cleric arrives and you all are shooed out of the room, Barrios looks at Dickie and then at Valak, and his eyes clear, and whatever fog of pain, whatever fog of discomfort that he's going through, his eyes go clear one last moment, looking at all of you, and he says, Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you."
Of course.
Say hello to the centaur. You'll be with her again.
And with that, the cleric starts shooing you out of the room to try to do their best to heal Barrios. You all are put out in the hallway. They invite you to come to the kitchen and grab a meal while they're waiting. And you all have a little while to eat and chat amongst yourself if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll jump to the last little bit.
Does Dorian want to take any time to do the hut?
Yeah, I will take 10 minutes and do the hut. Actually, I'll probably notice that I've got a spell focus gem probably cutting into my skin at this point.
Oh
Permanent.
God, yeah.
I stop you before you do your ritual. Are we planning to rest for 8 hours right now?
I don't know.
Then how about I cast non-detection on him one more time? That'll give us another 8 hours and we can have some room.
Well, what time of day is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we just moved around the world quite fast.
Yeah. It actually is probably about 5 o'clock at night, given that you woke up, you teleported, you spent some time in the Citadel, you spent time walking up to the mountainside, prepping the ritual, doing the ritual. So So you've spent close to 9 hours since you got up in the morning. So you are in the evening.
We'd
Okay.
probably be pretty tired.
Yeah, it's been a big ass day.
Yeah,
Okay,
we all just
so-
got blown at.
So we find a spot it's big. Maybe we do it on the roof.
They have a courtyard
okay,
and private
roof
garden
can.
kind of thing.
Yeah. I think we did that before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you at least
Same-
And then Valak in the morning will have a recharge and we can do our thing.
Exactly.
I do cast non-detection on him just in case, just to give us a little bit of leeway
Okay.
because I have one.
Why not?
Yes.
About 45 minutes or so pass, and the older dwarf comes out to meet you all in the kitchen. He goes, well, I don't know what you all did, but Burial seemed to have a good death. For that, I thank you all.
He was at peace.
I imagine things that plagued him these last decades. From the sound of it, you all helped lay to rest.
Did what we could.
As did he.
You are welcome to be our guests for the next few days. The ritual laying to rest will occur 3 moons from now. You all are welcome to attend.
That's like 3 months.
3 nights.
You said 3 moons.
Yes, the moon will be visible 3 times.
Well, usually that's like a cycle of the moon. It's always a new moon. So it's 3 moons later. It's like
Different religions, darling. Different religions.
So 3 nights.
3 nights. Here we send them off with drinking and dinner and a fine meal so that they know that those that they've left behind are taken care of and taking care of each other. So we come together to eat, to drink, to share tales of the person's life, all those that remember them. And you are welcome at that ceremony if you have the time.
Sounds fun.
I think we do have the time. We just have to get rid of our baggage.
Uh-huh.
In the meantime, however, if there are any wards or protection or anything you can put up around your places here, I think that would be important, just because the necromantic lord could see through other creatures that we came across and would have seen that Barius was with us. So if they know that this is where he lived, maybe some protection would be a good thing to put up.
Certainly couldn't hurt.
I'll alert the town guard and make sure all of the house guards are on duty in the coming days.
Are we going to interrogate him before we hut it?
I think we should interrogate him in the hut.
No, you can't. Sorry.
No?
No. No magic.
Yeah, anything that we would want to cast on him, if we had to cast like Charm Person or Cold Person and things like that, wouldn't work in the...
And not to extend through the dome or be cast through it. So yes, I'm sorry, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, you can cast it in
Inside
it?
it, just not
As long
through
as
it.
the caster and the receiving of the cast are both in
Yes.
it.
Both inside, yeah.
Fair enough. Maybe
Yes.
that is a good place to do it then.
That
Yes.
way people.
Yeah, we do need to interrogate this agent of the Necromancer Lord.
Well, when you are done with that, join us for the celebration, and thank you for giving him a chance to actually rest. And with that, he will give you all a respectful head nod and leave the kitchen so that you are there by your lonesome.
Thank you for listening to Attackers of Opportunity. We really enjoyed making this podcast, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to it. If you did, please go ahead and leave a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Attackers of Opportunity. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode.